I'm returning to Aix-en-Provence for really the second time to do an opera. The first time I was in Aix-en-Provence, more than 10 years ago, was to do Susanna and The Marriage of Figaro. It's a city that has always fascinated me by its charm, by its beauty, and its history, as well as the warmth of the people. Don Pasquale, the first time, was in Lyon, the first time we did this. What we're doing with this Don Pasquale is something that doesn't exist in the opera world anymore, because my big complaints about opera, and one of the reasons I do so little opera, is because the conditions for working conditions just don't suit me. I'm very unhappy with instant opera, a 2 days rehearsal, and when I came to New York as a student, I continued my great love of the theater, which I had started at university. I was really a groupie, really more a theater groupie. I loved the theater, and I went often to the theater. And I think before I met my husband, most of my boyfriends were actors. And so I always had this great jealousy, really, of the working conditions in the theater, to have 6 months to work on a piece together, because I think if you need two elements for me. One is working together with the music, the piece you're doing, and working together with the people you're working with, because without having that kind of confidence that you can have when you know someone, you don't take chances, neither in rehearsals and certainly not in performance. There comes a time when you've worked together on something together with other people, that miracles can happen, because all of a sudden you'll have an idea will come along and they'll just follow you as if there's telepathy going on. And this project came about because I wanted to do that kind of work, a little bit like, I saw myself a little bit like La Dusa and her traveling troupe going through Italy, putting up the decor and doing her productions that had been well rehearsed. So we started this production in Lyon, which is the first time I've ever sung Norina, the first time I've ever sung Donizetti. And we started the production in Lyon. We did a month in Venice, and now we're here a month in Aix-en-Provence. And that's 3 months with the same cast, the same conductor, the same production. It is the conditions that don't exist for opera, and it's an enormous luxury. And we try every time we get together to make it better, to go deeper into the music, to deeper into the characterizations, the relationships. For me, I think that our task really in music, in art, is to try and go into the core of the truth, of the essence of the character and the music, what the composer intended, and maybe even some things that the composer didn't know he intended, which should be in the score. For me, the score is like the Bible, and to work like that, for me, is so exciting. It's more exciting than the performance, really, because in the rehearsal you can take all the chances, you can do all the cartwheels that are necessary, which makes it possible for that magic, that unexpected to happen in the performance, which something that's not planned within the framework of well-rehearsed, because it's like a painting of, you know, the French painter Seurat. The closer you get to the painting, the more you see the little dots in between that make come together. Well, at the beginning, when I start a piece, it's like I go from this point to that point, and then I start to fill in the lines of it. And you can only do that when you have time. And when you have time and you have colleagues who are willing to work like that, who are willing to say, let's change the scene and do this entirely different, to improvise something, let's improvise something to give it some freshness.
Padrone e amico mio, il re dei galantuomini, rispondete al saluto.
Grazie, serva.
Oh ciel, che bella mano! E ci accotta quest'ora.
Oh, che mangiare.
Don Pasquale is a simple story. Norina is a poor but spunky young widow who is in love with Ernesto, a wistful dreamer, totally dependent on his bachelor uncle, Don Pasquale. They want to marry, but meet with an absolute refusal from his uncle. Don Pasquale is getting sick and tired of supporting his nephew and decides to take the pleasant way out of the situation by getting married himself. He asks his friend, Dr. Malatesta, to find him a wife. Malatesta tells Don Pasquale that his own adorable sister Sophronia is about to come out of the convent and describes her in such glowing terms that the old man falls in love sight unseen. Of course, there is no such sister. Malatesta has arranged for Norina to impersonate this character and teach Don Pasquale a lesson he will never forget. Sophronia shows up for the wedding as timid as a newborn lamb. Don Pasquale is enchanted. Just as they are about to start the marriage ceremony, Ernesto suddenly appears to collect his things before leaving Europe in despair. Malatesta has all he can do to keep him from giving the game away. So the fake wedding takes place, and hardly has Sophronia signed the marriage contract when the meek little lamb transforms herself into a tiger, turning Don Pasquale's household upside down and spending his money on anything and everything her little heart desires. The plot comes to a head that evening when she announces to Don Pasquale that she is off to the theater by herself. When he protests, Norina gets so carried away with the role she's playing, she slaps poor Don Pasquale in the face. Suddenly, both of them are drenched with the cold water of reality. Don Pasquale sees what an old fool he has been, and Norina finally realizes that she is toying with the honest feelings of a perhaps difficult, but nevertheless basically decent old gentleman. The end is obvious. When Don Pasquale finds out Sophronia is really Norina in disguise, he's forced to admit his foolishness and give the young lovers his blessings. In the finale, everyone sings "Bravo, bravo, Don Pasquale."
Come sarà una carina che mi torna a venire, non mi lascio andare. E poi bang!
C'est pas comme ça, non? Non, mais il n'y a pas ça.
I love most of the roles I do. Well, I find myself in a position where I only sing those roles I like. I mean, I don't find myself having to sing something that I absolutely hate. And I tend to love the role I'm singing. I love the person I'm doing. What I like about Norina is, especially in opera, she's one of the few women who has this independence to decide her own destiny, really decide what she wants in her life. She's not about to have a marriage that's been already fixed for her. Of course, for the conventions of the time in which it was written, she's a widow. and I think that was to deal with the fact that a single woman could not be as audacious as Norina is. She's one of the few women in opera who knows what she wants and gets it. I like the fact that she knows herself. She explains herself very well in the aria by saying that I like a good joke and I can be angry, but then I can also smile, and in a second that anger can turn into laughter. And I like to have a good time, and I know how to turn a man around my finger. I know how to make him come to a slow boil. And there are not very many women, especially in opera and the characters that I get to play, who have that kind of control over their lives. She's very modern, a very modern girl. And she also loves Ernesto and wants Ernesto, but there's also this little bit ambiguity about her relationship with Malatesta, which we try to bring out a little bit in the opera, that maybe that's some past story, some old story that for reasons of class or whatever maybe could not work itself out, could not. So she's a very complete woman with a past and hopefully a happy future. With Ernesto, a lot of times, and she's forced to, in the game she's playing with Don Pasquale, to become very mean.
Don Pasquale, è finita Don Pasquale. Alberò perti la testa, alberò perti la testa. Altra fare non ti resta, altra fare.
The performances in the theater of the Archevêché, which is outside, half outside and half covered, but mainly outside for us, is always has that charm that I think is what summer festivals are about. People who are in a good mood because it's warm, because they're on vacation. For us, it's not really vacation, but because the work is hard, if not harder, because of being outside. But that there is this festival atmosphere, and Aix has always been one of my favorite festivals.
Musicalmente.
spirito. Armi. E fantasia, forse il vento che soffiò. E un col di pillolina nipotino vi preparo. Può chiamarmi Don Somaro, può chiamarmi Don Somaro, se veder non verrà può chiamarmi Don Somaro, può chiamarmi Don Somaro, se veder non verrà è permesso. Avanti, avanti. Dunque, zitto, con prudenza. Io mi struggo di impazienza la sposina. Si trovo. Benedetto, oh Benedetto, e Fabione, e Fabione. Adesso, per carità dottore, per carità dottore. Frenate il vostro ardore, frenate il vostro ardore, calmatevi questa lì. Ah, per carità dottore, frenate il vostro ardore. Ah, dottore, per carità. Bravo, così verrà. Solito mi sento addosso, mai resistere, io più non posso, dell'età vecchia scorpi malani, il setto giovine, mi affetanni, della raffretta ti vieni sposina, e con i bamboli mezza dozzina, già vengo nascere, già vengo crescere, intorno vengo scherzare, vengo già nascere, vengo già crescere, come intorno vengo scherzare. Preparatevi a sfrattar, voi frattanto signorino, preparatevi a sfrattar, preparatevi a sfrattar.
Preparatevi behind me. Bitte, musicalmente. Larghetto. E now, keine Akzent.
È finito, Don Pasquale, è finito, Don Pasquale.
Working with colleagues like Bacquier, who is a veteran, especially of these kinds of roles, there was enormous amount that we all learned from him in sense of timing, because I think in comedy, timing is so important, or else it's false, because it's got to be natural. And I think the younger you are, the more forced comedy can be. And with a great master like Gabriele, just to watch him on stage, how from one rehearsal to the next he would do something entirely different, but how the timing is always so right. It's a great pleasure, because not only do I learn from him, but we play off each other. Without the work and the road that leads to that happens in rehearsal, the performance, of course, would not be what it should be.
quella è Norina che tradimento tutti soccorre d'ora in convento e il matrimonio come a pensiero di modo accoglie il tipo tranquillo oh piccoli si viglia se te oh piccoli si tutto dimentico siate felici come io furisco bravo, Don Pasquale.
Music was always a part of my life. It was a constant part of my life. And I even did jazz when I was in university. I sang in a jazz group to make money, $12 a night. I used to get for a job. And I sang in the chorus. And one day I was singing for a meeting that I I've been asked for from a lady from my church, and because I had a final exam on physics the next day, I said, okay, I'll come and sing, but it has to be the beginning, and then I have to go. Well, in that meeting was a man who was on the board of directors of the university as well as the Aspen Music School. And he wrote me a letter and asked me if I'd be interested to go and spend the summer in Aspen. Well, Aspen, Colorado, who can turn it down? The idea of going to Aspen and into a music school and a music camp, I thought, why not? It sounds like fun. And there I met Jenny Terrell, who was chosen for me to be my teacher. The first time I really came in contact with classical music on that level. And it was a summer that changed my life. First of all, the meeting with Jenny Terrell, but also the meeting with myself and music. My life and music and what it was to mean in my life was the recognition that this is the direction, music was the direction that my life should take, that was what my destiny. And I came in, it was like a meeting, really a meeting between myself and my destiny, and an acceptance of that. My father's a pastor in the church, minister, Methodist church. My mother was a school teacher, elementary school teacher for the young kids, age 5, 6, and 7. And my first experiences with music were in the church and in school. My life revolved between school and church. Now I have my own family. One of the reasons that I'm so involved in fighting for human rights through the UN High Commission for Refugees, but also through Amnesty International, I'm very active because I think we all have to prepare that future. I'm thinking about not my future, but the future of my children and their children, that they'll have a planet where they can, which will not be hostile to them. They can breathe the air and drink the water and eat the fish from the lakes, as well as live in peace together. And so it's very important. I think having children makes that responsibility seem even heavier. At the same time, it's a great responsibility filled with immense joy. I see my children are a perfect example, I think, of a world united. I mean, they're a mixture of American Black, which is a mixture of European, American Indian, and God knows what else. My husband, who is Swedish, whose mother is Jewish, German, and some Italian blood, and the Swedish part of the family from quite far back. It's for me the future. They represent where the human race may be going in the future, because as the closer we get together, the more we mix, and hopefully the fewer conflicts we'll have, because we'll start to understand each other. First of all, I always start with the music, with the score. Everything begins with the music for me. The rhythm, the legato, whether or not it's fast, whether or not it has it's like the beginning. You see the character of Norina just from the kind of music she sings. When she introduces herself and she starts to say, well, I know how to get around men, I know how to make them fall in love with me. And just in that, you see exactly the kind of person she is. And that's really where it starts with me. It starts with the music, with the score, trying to be as truthful to what the composer wrote as possible. Of course, sometimes in opera, if the libretto is a little bit weak, you can sometimes go to the source of libretto. I remember when doing Romeo and Juliet, I went back to Shakespeare to take a look at the Juliet of Shakespeare on which it was based. But with Norina, everything is really quite there. Everything I need to know, and a lot of things that I'm sure I haven't yet discovered. In the third act, how the music changes when after she has slapped Don Pasquale, and the regret she has over the pain that she's causing him, and at the same time, she's saying, well, but I have to continue this, because if I stop now, I lose everything that I've worked for. Gino is one of those colleagues that I have that I love working with most, because He loves to try things. Already, we discuss all the time. And that comes from you. We've been working together for a long time, and we like to work together, and I think he's a wonderful actor, and I know that he's always there to feed off. It's always, you throw the ball, and he always throws it back. I'm always excited before a performance, but never nervous. I'm not, I don't have what the French call the trac. I mean, I don't throw up and get sick, and they have to be pushed out onto stage, you know. I like my work, and if I'm well prepared, I know that those things that can go wrong and do go wrong sometimes on stage, that I'll be able to handle it. It's unlikely that the curtain will have to come down and the show will have to stop. So, with the little things that can happen. So, I'm excited to go on stage. I'm excited to go and try it again.
L'année prochaine, c'est le bicentenaire de la mort de Mozart ou de la naissance, je sais pas. Alors, ils vont faire sûrement du Mozart. Mais si on fait 3 opéras de Mozart ou 4...
Well, this is the first time that I have sung music of Donizetti. I have sung some melody of Donizetti, but first opera I've done of Donizetti. And he's always considered to be, because he was able to write very quickly, not taken very seriously. But I find that certainly in the role of Norina, all of the indications of who she is in her music. And as a matter of fact, for me, in any role that I start to do, I look only to the music for the indications of who the person is, the way they sing, the kind of music, whether it is legato, slow, fast, staccato. Those give me indications to changes in personality and the kind of the heartbeat of the role.
Je ne sais pas la voix, mais je vais expliquer que je l'ai. Je l'ai pas.
De quoi? Demain. Demain. Sing. Je sais pourquoi j'étais de l'autre côté. Vedi.
What you need? That's for Catherine, no? Christine, Catherine.
Catherine Juliet.
That's all right.
Deux billets.
Okay, she's playing for us.
That's for, what's his name? Gérard. Well, the performance is wonderful because there you have the contact with the public, and that's very special. And what we're there to do, the performance is about that. It's about communicating, being there as a vessel of communication for the music that we're doing, and to touch the audience in one way or another.
sentiremo di scoppiare. Questa volta da girare, la festa questa volta da girare, la festa questa volta da girare. Cosa è che sentiremo di scoppiare? Cosa è che sentiremo di scoppiare? Di scoppiare.
Pasquale, è finita, Don Pasquale. Hai per romperti la testa, hai per romperti la testa. Fare non ti resta, altra fare non ti resta. Ed andarti ad affogar, che d'andarti ad affogar. È finita, sì. Pasquale, sì.
povera si porta chiusa come va. Thank you.